You guys, I almost got scammed today. And by almost, I mean like it was close. I like, okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened. So I get an email, not an email, but like somebody filled in the contact form on my website. And they're like, oh, we're this like movie production training project that's going to be going on for a year in Ottawa, and we need an accounting firm that can help us out. Can you take on a year project? I was like, sure, yeah, like I can take on a project for a year. And then I was like, I would like to meet with you. Like, let's have a call so we can talk about specifics. And because that's how it always goes, right? Like, I'd rather chat with somebody and understand what their business is about and how we can work together and if we're a good fit and all the things that you want to do before you start working with somebody. And he was like, no. Well, he didn't say no, but he said, how much for your service? Like, great, here's the, I'm gonna back up. I think I'm skipping emails here. He said, here's the all of the requirements that we have, and he like listed all these things, and they're all very accountanty things to say. Like we need account reconciliation and vendor supply or vendor payments and like or recording of vendor payments and just all the things that I'm like, all right, yeah, that sounds like all the things that you would need if you were running a project for a year and you wanted to outsource your accounting. Great. So then I was like, cool, yeah, I can definitely help you with this. Let's have a meeting. And he was like, just tell me how much it's going to cost every week or whatever it was. So I quoted him a price, and the price was like way higher than I would normally quote because at this point I'm a little annoyed and I'm like, if we're really going to work together, then like it better be worth it. Because sometimes you have those clients where like they end up being a lot more work than first anticipated, and I was just trying to avoid putting in way more work than expected, than I was getting paid for, I guess. So I gave him a huge price, and then I sent it to him expecting to not hear back because I was like, this is absurd. Like nobody would pay this price. And so then the next day it's like, yeah, I sent it to management and your price has been approved. I was like, what? That doesn't make me really? Come on now. I was like, that doesn't also crap. Cause like, how am I gonna do this 12-hour a week project that starts immediately? Like what? All right, fine. I guess I'm gonna figure that out. So then I said, so he said, I want to send the first check to you so that you can start paying suppliers. I was like, wait a second. I am not doing that. That was not part of the original agreement. And I was like, I have so many questions. Like, we have to meet before we can start this. Like, I can't. And so I'm telling my partner this because I'm like, this is getting weird. And I'm telling him, so Ryan was saying that this kind of thing happens all the time. He's like, I think this is a scam. I was like, what? I mean, it feels weird, but really? He's like, yeah, it happens to magicians. So magicians, it'll be like, oh, I want to hire you for a gig, but can you please just pay the caterer? Like, I'll give you a bit of extra money. You just need to pay the caterer or whatever. Like, which is weird. Like, why would the magician pay the caterer? But anyways, yeah, so I guess it's a pretty normal scam. And so I was like, okay, well, you do your thing then. So he looked up the company, the Renix Global Services, and sure enough, he's like, yeah, this website exists, but like, it's just a template. Like, it doesn't really say what they do, and like it's poorly written, basically. I think it's a scam. I was like, whoa, oh man, I almost got scammed. Because like he was gonna, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to have you deposit their checks, which are fake checks, and then you pay out to their suppliers, which is really them. You like wire them a bunch of money, and it's like, oh, you can keep your fee for yourself. But when the check bounces, you've already wired them the money. And so now you have this overdraft in your account, theoretically, or at least you've paid out this money and there's like, you're not getting it back. And Ryan said that when he looked up this company, that there was a woman who had gone through a similar experience in the States, and that she like basically laid out exactly what my story is, and that they had sent her this check and she had wired them some money, and then the check bounced, and then like she's just out that money now. Just terrifying. That's so terrifying. Like, I felt weird about it kind of from the beginning, but I didn't stop emailing him. I just kept wanting to clarify, and then he wouldn't. So yeah, I'm pretty grateful that Ryan was like, now hold on a second, we need to just check this out a little further, because I had gone to the website too and been like, well, it exists, it's fine. But I didn't really read it or look at it because I was like, I don't really, do I need to before I chat with this guy? So yeah, that's kind of scary. And I think as an accountant, that's what he was asking for was not unreasonable. And in fact, sometimes accountants will control money for their clients. I don't do that, but some do. In fact, my insurance, when I apply for my insurance, it asks you if you're controlling the money for any of your clients and what percentage it is and how much money you're dealing with and all this stuff. So yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility for an accountant to do that for somebody. But terrifying that could have been really bad. That could have cost thousands of dollars, because the budget that he was talking about was $290,000, which is significant. It means, probably wouldn't have been all at once, but yeah, that was significant. And I think that this structure of a scam, it could work with any industry. It works particularly well for an accountant because that's a service that you might provide for people. But like Ryan was saying, that happens to magicians all the time. Oh, I'm going to hire you for this gig, but can you please pay somebody else? So watch out. If it seems odd, then check into it. And it's little things, right? He wasn't great at writing, which in and of itself is not a big deal, but when combined with, he's dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he's got a Gmail account that's, Renix Global Services at gmail.com. If you have a company that's dealing in hundreds of thousands of dollars, they probably have their own domain name. They're probably at Renix Services or what, something that's not Gmail. And look at their websites a little more closely than to just say, oh yeah, it exists. Is it a real thing? Because all of those things individually are not necessarily red flags, but certainly taken together, and taken together with just the avoidance of wanting to talk to me. He really did not want to have to get on the phone or a video call with me. Yeah, so that happened today. Don't let it happen to you. If you have questions for me about what happened, definitely leave them in the comments. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you feel as though you've been scammed or there was an attempt to take your money in any way, then please, please, please report it to your local police department. I didn't think of this, but my friend is a police officer, and he saw my post and he was like, hey, you should report this to the fraud department. So I will be doing that today. He said that they have an information, it goes on file as information. So, just because I don't have any specifics about this person or even where he is, it doesn't matter. That it's important to tell your local police fraud department. So please do that. Anyways, yeah, I'm wishing you not to be scammed. I don't know. That's all I got. Be aware. I'll see you tomorrow.